conversations start on the front porch and end up in the front seat of a quality pre-owned vehicle. At Ray Varner Ford, we keep it simple, honest, and local with vehicles you trust. 21 Ford Explorer Timberline 4x4, $36,990. 22 Ford Mustang Convertible EcoBoost Premium, $25,550. 22 Ford Escape SEL All-Wheel Drive, $24,950. Make the move from the porch to the driver's seat at Ray Varner Ford. Local you trust, pre-owned vehicles you can afford.
Well, good morning. Happy Wednesday, everybody. Not so happy for some, as we've been dealing with some flooding down into parts of Chattanooga. It's been an incredible night last night around town. And, of course, you saw at the very beginning, so the radar is lighting up here this morning. All right, here we go. We're new time here this morning, 7:33 right now. So I want to take you right back out to the radar to show you what's going on around town, because we do have showers and a few thunderstorms already showing up across parts of East Tennessee. So we'll take you on a little radar tour. It has been a very active 24 hours, and I think that's going to be the story. Now, we've seen some of the heaviest rains have been across upper East Tennessee this morning, up towards Kingsport, Sneedville, Rogersville, Baileyton, along Interstate 26 and also Interstate 81. So if you have travel plans there, keep in mind that we are seeing rounds and rounds of heavy rain. And these rounds of heavy rain are going to lead to some localized flooding and flash flooding concerns. And we've been talking about that for the last couple of days. I'll take you to the southwestern sections of town, where we do have more rain starting to slide its way in from Middle Tennessee along Highway 24, and that's going to work its way back across the Cumberland Plateau and eventually back into the rest of East Tennessee. So I think the bulk of the rain is really going to be with us here first thing this morning and through the early afternoon, and then I think we'll start to see some improving weather conditions. If you're joining us around central Knox County, we do have some of those heavier showers now exiting over towards Strawberry Plains, Kodak along Interstate 40, just along and north of Interstate 40 anyways, moving its way into Jefferson City. And then more showers out of Lenore City will work their way back into Louisville, Rocky Hill, West Hills, Farragut, and eventually into the downtown area. That's the story for the day today. So good morning, everyone. We've got lots of folks joining us this morning. We got Eva, Julie, Krista. Good morning. Debbie, Kathy, and Layla. Lance is joining us this morning as well. Good morning, Lance. Happy Wednesday to you as well. It is hump day. We'll get to work with Ed Rupp, and of course the camel almost got away from me with all this active weather going on around town, but let's go ahead and talk about the forecast ahead of us here today. And before we get there, we'll take you back outside. Here's a live view in downtown Anderson County right now. Overcast, gray, kind of a damp, dreary day around town. And but again, improving conditions here, I think, as we wrap up the week and head into the upcoming weekend. All right, here we go. Temperature-wise, 85 degrees was the high temperature in Knoxville yesterday. I always like to keep you in check, and I was forecasting 86 degrees. Had about a 80 to 90% chance of rain, and that's pretty much what we saw yesterday. Now, officially at McGee Tyson Airport, we only picked up 0.02 of an inch of rain, but look at Chattanooga's rainfall total yesterday. That was the second all-time rainiest day on record. The other rainiest day was over 9 inches. Over 9 inches of rainfall was their all-time rainiest 24-hour period. But that led to flooding and flash flooding, and I'll highlight that here with some incredible video and pictures. Take a look at some of these pictures. We're just going to throw these up on the screen. So this is out of along Highway 24 in Chattanooga. So look at these photos coming in. I mean, just incredible flooding. How about this one right there? I mean, that right there is the scene. Snarling traffic late last night and causing some major issues. I also have another video to share. This one also coming in from Chattanooga. And you can really see how the flooding and flash flooding was a major problem down there. Of course, when you pick up 6 inches of rainfall, that is going to be the story. All right, so yeah, yesterday we had temperatures in the low to mid 80s. It was below average yesterday. Take that off the screen here for you, and we'll get back to work with the forecast. Okay, so today's going to be very similar as to what we saw yesterday and the day before with the overcast gray skies, and we still have a lot of energy in the atmosphere, and we still have a lot of moisture being fed right through the area. As it moves in, that's going to lead to, that's insult to injury. So if you've seen a lot of rain over the last couple of days, and some of you have with these efficient rain producers, that's going to be the problem. because that's going to be adding more rain on top of an already saturated ground. So, of course, Chattanooga does not need any more rain. Unfortunately, there's a lot more moving its way on in. I've shown you this map for about a week now saying, hey, listen, heads up. We've got very efficient rain producers moving on in. The darker shades of reds are indicating that, yeah, we are looking at torrential downpours with any of the showers and thunderstorms that continue to fire up around the area. And that's going to be with us for the next 24 hours, okay? But we'll continue to forecast to wrap up the week and head into the weekend coming up in just a few minutes. But just over the next 24 hours, not only do we have abundant moisture to precipitate out of the atmosphere, but we also have energy in the atmosphere that's going to be feeding right across the Tennessee Valley. And so therefore, once again, today we do have a level 1 and mostly a level 2 risk for flooding and flash flooding concerns. If you've been on some of my social media account at all this morning, I have already posted a lot of information from the Weather Prediction Center issuing, watch out for flash flooded guidance out there that we're looking at anywhere from 1 to 2 plus inch rainfall rates per hour with the additional, with additional rainfall throughout the day. And so that's going to be a major player in how this all plays out. When you look at the rainfall over the last 24 hours, you can see Chattanooga, the bullseye, down along 75 and 24 across the Southern Valley, even across the Northern Valley along 75 north of town. Downtown Knoxville picked up nearly 1.5 inches of rain. Oak Ridge, 1.25 inches. Same with you folks in Dandridge and Morristown, over 1.5 inches of rainfall. So now we've got a lot of rain that's already fallen over the last 24 hours, and with all this energy moving on through, the National Weather Service had a flood watch first thing this morning. They have upped it to a flash flood watch, and that runs until 8 o'clock here this evening. So a flash flood watch for all of East Tennessee running through 8 o'clock tonight. Again, a radar recap over the last 3 hours. You can see how this moisture is just feeding its way into the area. So while we've seen rounds and heavy rain, not just through the overnight hours, not just yesterday, but even early this morning from Jefferson County to the Tri-Cities, look at all the rain that's working its way back into the area from our west. So let's pick up our Futurecast. Kind of has a fairly decent idea. Now, it's, of course, not picking up on the rainfall that we have just to our west per se this morning, but the general idea is there that this fetch of moisture is going to continue to feed on into the area through the morning, into the early afternoon. But maybe the good news is that we'll get rid of this before we get into the evening rush hour, dinner, and bedtime tonight. That would be the hopes. But again, just kind of keep your guard up. If you don't have the East Tennessee Weather app, if you're joining me on Facebook this morning or YouTube and you don't have the East Tennessee Weather app, scan that QR code or just go to your app store and search East Tennessee Weather. Look for the orange TN and the white lightning bolt and download it today. Make sure you allow notifications and GPS location services because, listen, if you were in Knoxville, if you live in Knoxville, and you don't have your location services turned on or your push notifications turned on and you happen to be in Chattanooga yesterday, you wouldn't have gotten any of those warnings. And that's why it's super important to have the GPS location services turned on with the East Tennessee Weather app and also push notifications. Super important to get those these important life-saving notifications from the National Weather Service when it matters. And look at your rainfall forecast just through tonight. Now, I think some of the heaviest rain from the model guidance was being picked up on the rainfall that we've currently seen across upper East Tennessee this morning. But the general rule of thumb is efficient rain producers leading to flooding and flash flooding concerns. All right, morning temperatures. We start off, it's muggy. If you've not been outside yet, it's incredibly muggy to get the day started. We're in the 70s. It's definitely the air that you can wear. Dew points are incredibly high. And because we have the clouds and the rain, it's going to be very similar to what we had yesterday. Overcast gray, temperatures topping out in the mid-80s. And that's below average, and maybe a few lingering showers through the evening rush hour, dinner, and bedtime, but I don't anticipate a lot of activity. Again, never look at a weather graphic and say, oh, well, no, showers and thunderstorms, chance of showers and storms, I'm done. I'm going to cancel all my plans. Never do that. Always look at the Futurecast. Always look for more information, and I always post a lot more, with your video forecast weather updates, with these live weather updates, with your 1 Minute with Witcher, and, of course, with the interactive radar in the Futurecast, really helping to navigate all this. Now, let's pick up our timeline at 7 o'clock tonight because I think that we're going to continue. See if we can get that going here. That's through the day today. We'll go through today again. This is supposed to start tonight. Either way, okay, now tonight into tomorrow morning, we may still have a few showers that may linger around the area, but I do anticipate this the moisture content in the atmosphere to start to slowly fade, and that's going to help to shut down some of the rain chances. So when you look at your 7-day forecast, everybody's pretty much getting wet today. We'll have about a 40% chance for showers and thunderstorms tomorrow, but again, efficient rain producers tomorrow at least for the first part of the day. And then we start to lose that moisture, therefore more sunshine and better weather as we get into the upcoming weekend. More typical August weather anyways for the upcoming weekend, which is great if you love this the summertime August weather. But listen, we've needed the rain, but unfortunately it's too much too soon. Too much of a good thing sometimes, right? But this weekend's going to be nice. So plan some outdoor activities, get out and enjoy the water, the lakes, the pools, if you have pools that are around. But just know that the hotter weather is going to be working its way back in. Now, dew points have been in the mid 70s, okay? Extreme. That's when you step outside this morning, you're like, oh my gosh, this air that you can wear is just ridiculous this morning. And we're gonna tone that down just a little bit here for the upcoming weekend. However, with temperatures coming up into the 90s, dew points still in the 70s, so still sticky for sure. That's going to lead to heat index values this upcoming weekend in the upper 90s to low 100s. So it's definitely going to be hot. All right, let me show you the big picture. So if that's all you need to know and you need to head off to work, thank you for joining me on this new time at 7:30. We're just trying to give a new updates, trying to get everything to digital, to the app, to the website, to Facebook first. Then we'll come back and have a long-form discussion about what the weather's doing, why it's doing what it's doing, and that's really the point of these live updates. So you got the forecast for the day. You got your 7-day forecast. If that's all you need to know, I sure hope you have a great day. But let's continue, right? Because we have this big ridge of high pressure anchored across the southeastern U.S. over Florida, and we have a trough and a low pressure to our north. And so we've talked about this over the last couple of days, but that's just a feeder from the Gulf. You can see all that moisture from the Gulf coming in from the southwest, feeding right into the Tennessee Valley with energy in the atmosphere and a ton of available moisture. That's what's going to lead to those torrential downpours. Now, as we progress this, remember I said we're going to start to slowly see this abundant moisture to precipitate out, fade away. So as we get into our Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, notice that we go from the dark shades of reds to the lighter greens and yellows, meaning that precipitable water comes down. The PWAP values come down, meaning that we're not going to see the torrential downpours. Does that mean that we're not going to see any rainfall this weekend? No, I still think that we have a chance for some afternoon summertime thunderstorms. But I think that's the general rule of thumb is we won't get the torrential rain, the efficient rain producers that we've been seeing over the last couple of days, and that we'll see again today. And potentially again tomorrow, because the Weather Prediction Center has issued again a level 1 risk for flooding and flash flooding concerns tomorrow. And then we'll kind of push that a little bit further to our south as we get into our Friday. So when you look at the rainfall, generally speaking, again, this is just kind of broad brushing the idea of rain. I do think that we will continue to see some of the heaviest rain over into the mountains of East Tennessee and North Carolina. And so that's what we'll have to watch. With all the rain that we saw yesterday, with the rain that we'll see today, depending on where it sets up, the mountain counties are a concern, of course, because whenever we get rain across the mountains, it's got to come down the hill, downstream, and so we can get flooding and flash flooding to occur in and around parts of Cott County and any of the mountain counties, really, to be honest with you. And so that's what we have to watch for here over the next 24 to about 36 hours, and then it's smooth sailing into the upcoming weekend. All right, anybody interested in the tropics, we're going to keep you up to date on that. We still have Tropical Storm Erin. That would be ERIN, not AARON. Max winds at 45 miles per hour, but still anticipated to become a major hurricane, which is Category 3 or higher, but a fish storm. And so it's going to stay north of the BVIs, north of Puerto Rico, north of Cuba. But where does it go from here? Now, this takes us all the way through Monday morning. A lot of the model guidance, spaghetti plots have it curving northward. I'll show you some of those spaghetti plots. So this is a bunch of models, hurricane models, and where does it go? Most of them are curving them a little bit further to the north towards Bermuda, which you can't even see on the map because it's so small. But one has it kind of working its way towards the eastern seaboard. So we'll see what it looks like, but it does appear that this will continue to stay a fish storm and not affect the U.S. mainland, which would be great news, obviously. And when you look at this is the American model again. I've been showing you this over the last few days. We'll put this into motion. So that's the storm right there. That's Erin right there in the center of your screen. You can see how it's going to be moving its way north of the Lesser Antilles, north of the Greater Antilles, working its way north of the Bahamas. And then there's Bermuda on the screen, and you can see how it may make a direct impact to Bermuda. That, of course, is the American model. We're still looking at more than a week out with that system. But after Aaron is Ferdinand, and then we've got Gabrielle. Anybody a fan of this heat? If you're not a fan of this heat, well, hang on. It's still August, but we may see some improvements from the heat towards the end of the month. Trending maybe average with a pocket of cooler air maybe residing across parts of New England. So definitely something that we're going to continue to monitor for sure. All right, I want to take you back outside. That's your forecast, by the way. So again, if you have to hit the road, thank you for joining me this morning. I sure hope you have a great day. That's a live look at Fox Road Marina, not a time lapse, but a live look at Fox Road Marina. And that's the kind of day that we are going to see. All right, let's say good morning to everyone and see how you're doing. If you're new to Wake Up with Witcher, we go through the forecast. We have discussions about the forecast. If you have questions, I'm here to answer those questions. But we're also going to get to work with national holidays. We've got some great Witcher's pictures to show you, not necessarily the flooding pictures, but we'll go through Witcher's pictures and national holidays here in just a second. Let's see if anybody has anything to say here this morning. Good morning, Sandra. Everyone be safe out in this rain today. Let's see. Lisa's listening to me while she's traveling to Gatlinburg. And Lisa, I'm so sorry. I don't even know where you work, but she posted on social media because I was in Gatlinburg the other day, dropping off some equipment, as I've told you. And I didn't come see you, so I apologize. But I don't know where you work. So next time I'm up in Gatlinburg, which actually may be next week, and you'll find out more details on that coming up possibly next week as well. Let me know. Maybe I'll come over there and say hello. All right, anybody a big fan of this 7:30 hour time for Wake Up with Witcher versus the 6 a.m.? As is working with everybody? Hopefully it does. Good morning, Janet. Trying to please everybody, but I almost forgot, and I saw it in the chat. And of course, it is time, my friends. It is Wednesday. Shall we say good morning to Ed? I think we shall.
Wait for him. Wait for him. Bam! Now we slide all the way downhill to the weekend. The kids can get ready for school, and Debbie can take her shower.
Woo! Debbie can finally take her shower, her weekly shower. Good morning, Tyler. How are you this morning? Curly says he needs an app. He needs a nap or the app? Oh, when you get rich, you'll get the app. I'm not quite sure where you're going with this, Brandon and Curly. All right. You like the 7:30 time? Cheryl says, yes. I love the new time, says Lance. Awesome. Love that you can be here now, so Crystal can join us now. Tina likes the time. Let's see. Anybody else? Everybody else like the time? Kathy loves 7:30 a.m. 6 o'clock is really early. I know. Let's see. Layla, I think Layla said she likes the time as well. Love the new time. Deanna likes the new time as well. So we'll probably stick with about this time. 7:30 seems like it's a pretty good time for all of us. 7:30-ish, I say. Probably about 7:35, really, to be honest with you, due to the fact that, I got to help get my kids off to school. I can't change things the way I'm doing here and then ignore what I was trying to do from the get-go, and that was get rid of the 7 o'clock time because that's when I had to be at the bus stops for the kids. And now my kids are in middle school and elementary school, so we've got 2 different bus times. It is crazy. It is crazy. But let's move right along and talk about those national holidays. We've only got a couple, unfortunately. Well, 3 technically, I guess, because we're always celebrating birthdays and events. So happy birthday to anybody celebrating a birthday today. Let's talk about any events coming up here this weekend or today. Let us know. This is the time to throw the events out there, and this is the time to tell you again, if you're interested in attending the Big Kahuna Wing Festival, it is coming up August 31st, the last day of the month. It's at World's Fair Park. Tickets are on sale right now. You've probably seen them on social media. They got a great social media presence right now. They're doing a good job for that for sure. But I'm the lead meteorologist for the event. Unfortunately, I will not be able to make it to the event this year because I have to be in one of my good friends' wedding. I don't have to be. I've been asked to be in one of the wedding. I was supposed to be down at the event, and I got the wedding mixed up with the wrong weekend, unfortunately. But go purchase your tickets for the Big Kahuna Wing Festival coming up August 31st, and I'll keep you posted on the weather as we get a little bit closer. It's only the 13th. We got plenty of time, but you don't want to miss out on your tickets. I promise you that. Live music, entertainment, and great chicken wings. All right, it's National Prosecco Day. I mean, are we doing mimosas here? Are we doing poinsettias? What are we doing here? Or are you just drinking Prosecco because that's what it is? But National Prosecco Day if you are a Prosecco or drinker. Anyways, it's National Filet Mignon Day. I mean, who doesn't like a good solid filet mignon? I do. I like me some steak, and filet mignon is amazing. You know, and they always have bacon wrapped fillets. Do you like the bacon wrapped fillets? I will tell you my little personal opinion on the bacon wrapped fillets. I would rather just take bacon, cook it, and then eat it with my steak rather than having it around the steak. For the fact of the matter is that you have to turn it over on the side to actually cook the bacon. Otherwise, you end up with soggy, uncooked bacon. Yeah, it's probably cooked, like edible cooked, but it doesn't get crispy. And then at that point of the game, I don't know. Is it worth it? I don't know. Unfortunately, that's all the national holidays, but let's go ahead and talk about some Witcher's Pictures here this morning. Got a couple for you. We'll take you to downtown Gatlinburg here at this hour. Ooh, that's a cool view. Look at those low-grade clouds hanging across the peaks of the Smokies. Of course, the peaks of the Smokies are in the clouds. Those clouds are low enough to be right in the valleys of the peaks. Yeah, there we go. Lee's like, filet mignon is so good. Carol likes the 7:30 time. Good morning, everyone. My kiddos like to hear it on the way to school. Are they on the way to school now? Morning, pal. How are you, my friend? So a cool shot there of downtown Gatlinburg. All right, let's talk about some photos. Let me share a couple Witcher's Pictures again. You can share these through the East Tennessee Weather app. I'm surprised I didn't get a few more, actually, to be honest with you, of some of the rain and the flooding. But I did get some great views of some nice sunsets and clouds and crepuscular rays and you know, all those things. The God's rays, if you will. This one's sent in by Barb Miller, Sunset in Townsend, she says. That's a beautiful shot there. Lauren Beasley also sent me a great shot of a rainbow right over the rooftop of her house. That's a great one. She says, Rainbow in Maryville, just what my heart and mind needed to see tonight. I would say so. And Elaine Ombre, behind the lens, she always does a great job with the photos. And I post a lot of her pictures on social media as well, just because they're always amazing photos, because she's a great photographer. But how about that one? That one's a cool one. Look at that. Isn't that cool that the rainbow's just like cascading through the cloud? That's awesome. Elaine, you're killing it, Elaine. Doing a great job, and she's got another great sunset picture to share with us this morning. She's doing a lot of work. She's putting a lot of photos there on Witcher's Pictures. Again, if you're new to the platform and you don't have the East Tennessee Weather app, I'll guide you here for just a moment of time for a couple things, because I always like to teach you how to use the app, what to look for, how to navigate it. But I will say that when you open up the app, this is what you see, right? And I am broadcasting live on top of the app right now. I know for Android users, it is not broadcasting on top of the app. We're trying to get that fixed. So we're working on that for sure. But when you open the app up, of course, you got your temperatures, 1 minute with Witcher, forecast details, and your interactive radar. The interactive radar is going to be a great tool on a day like today, because remember, it gives you past, current, and future radar of 2 hours. You see those little dots in the bottom right-hand side of the screen there on the radar? That's your future cast. So what it does is it goes back 2 hours, comes to the current time, and then we'll give you a future cast of 2 hours, really helping you navigate. So if you're out to lunch, before you get ready to head home from work, this will give you all the information. Now, I do have alerts turned on, so you'll see the flash flood watch that's in place across the area. But if you have alerts turned on all the time, sometimes it can be a little bit obtrusive, if you will. Now, it's important on a day like today because it's showing the flash flooding, but sometimes because it will show you all the watches and warnings across the entire country. And unfortunately, you can't just choose a couple. But then you keep scrolling down, and there's your Witcher's Pictures link there at the bottom of the app. If you click on that, to just take a picture right there, submit it from your cell phone. Give me a description of what the picture is, where are you located, what time it was taken. Get as much information as you can put with that, and that will really help for me to be able to share exactly what the picture is of, right? So that's the East Tennessee Weather app. Also, if you have the app, or when you do download the app, make sure, again, I can't stress this enough, the app is great, and you may like the app. And I know some of you are like, I don't want the app to track me, but I don't do anything with that information. I'm not selling it like some of the other apps out there. So just keep that in mind. But just know that with the East Tennessee Weather app, you've got to allow GPS location services and push notifications. Because if you don't, then the app becomes just a traditional weather app with my forecasts on there, right? It's not going to give you the wealth of weather information. It's a robust weather app that gives you a lot of great tools to stay informed. But if you don't allow notifications or push notifications or GPS location services, the app is just going to be like every other app. Good morning, Beverly. How are you this morning? Bonnie's loving some filet mignons. Cheryl, too. I'm with you on that one. Miranda likes the 7:30 time, I guess, right? For the record, he called me nuts. Options vary. Getting used to this new time. Beautiful clouds out there. Agreed. Aren't those pictures awesome, Tina? They are great. You needed this overview. You're an Android user. Awesome, Don. And Don, let me ask you a question. So you're on YouTube this morning, I see, because you probably clicked on my notification, correct? I'm assuming that's why you are on YouTube, because I pushed Android users to YouTube due to the fact that that video is not playing front and center on the app like it is on Android, like it is on iPhones. So when I'm not live, I take that video down. When I am live, I put the video back up because I don't want that video to be playing all the time. I want you to know that if the video's up, you know I'm probably going to be coming live soon. So just anticipate that. But for Android users, we're going to try to get that fixed here. Also, the app travels wherever you go into in the country. So that's why I said, if you travel for work, if you happen to be in an area, make sure that those location services are turned on, because then you'll be notified of any weather concerns, any inclement weather in your area. Let's see. I think I had a couple. Oh, yeah. I have one more picture to share with you. This is from a good friend of mine, David Weaver. And take a look at this photo. Talk about a rain shaft. That, my friends, is a rain shaft. And that is where it is dumping. Absolutely dumping. That was just to the south of downtown Knoxville yesterday afternoon. And those are the torrential downpours. The gully washers is what we like to call those. Anyways, it is almost 8 o'clock, and I don't want to waste a bunch of your time, but I do really appreciate. Want to do that? Let's come back here for a second as we wrap things up. Anyways, I do appreciate you. Thanks for bearing with me while we navigate a few things to try to really bring the most important weather to the most important places at the most important times, and then we get to talk about it with a live weather update for Wake Up with Witcher. Again, we're going to try this 7:30 time for the rest of the week. We'll see how it all plays out. Remember, on Saturday and Sunday, I do 8 o'clock in the morning. That also may be too early on a weekend. I don't know. We're trying to navigate this together. Got some great things coming your way with the East Tennessee weather platforms. I will tell you all the details in the coming days. And if you see us around town, whether it be me, my kids, my wife, a family, when we're a family together, we are friendly, I promise. Please come say hi to us. I love you. I love people. I love to talk to people. I love our community. And so I don't ever want you to be shy and say, I wanted to come say hi. But listen, I'm telling you, if you see us in public, please come say hi. We would love to say hi to you because I want to see all of you. All right, my friends, I sure hope you have a great day. Be safe. Be kind to each other. Of course, life is short. We know that. But navigate these showers and thunderstorms. Download the East Tennessee Weather app. Allow GPS location services. Allow push notifications so you can stay informed. Flooding and flash flooding is going to be a concern today. And if you've seen a lot of rain over the last couple of days, and you get a lot of rain today, there's your flooding concern, or rather, flash flooding concern. And if you're joining us from the mountain counties, heads up. Remember, all of East Tennessee is under a flash flood watch until 8 o'clock tonight. All right, my friends. Have a great day. I'll see you back here tomorrow morning and throughout the day on social media today, but tomorrow morning around 7:30. We'll see you then.